Hey all. Today, me and Tron are going to be sitting down and going over a couple of some new toys and devices he sent my way. It's a new top to our Dynavap as well as some bong adapters. We go into a heavy 2.5 hour long sesh. There's some cat based bullshit that goes on, as well as some fetch based RPG requests that happen on my end. It's a fun live stream, you guys, or pre-recorded stream. I'll see you after the intro when me and Tron dive into this sesh. I hope you enjoy. And at the end, we'll have our end card slide in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and those bottom two videos. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow when we're smoking that 1964 hash. Cheers and enjoy.
Record. I forgot to record the last fucking two, I think. I recorded the first one where we did 6, and then I didn't record the last one because like before I was like, oh, I'll do a collage, and then like I'll do like an end of the year thing, but it's like, oh man, now I'm missing like 3 episodes. Should have probably just asked you to send it to me, but I kind of got sick over December though, so content was a little slow.
That's all good. I needed a week off too, so I slowed her down a little bit. So
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. So we got everything laid out here and ready to roll.
Sick. So everything made it all right. I was happy to see that, even though it took like an extra week in the fucking mail.
It was bound to happen, dude, with the way, with how much was being shipped out at that point in time.
Yeah,
it does not surprise me at all.
Plus, then the Omicron shut down everybody. Like they were probably working on an even more reduced staff than the already reduced staff. You know.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But hey, packages are moving again. So.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, like I think I told you in the message when I went to the post office, I used the smallest bubble mailer, and she's like, I could ship this as like an envelope for you if you make it half an inch thinner. And I was like, no, I'd have to take out bubble wrap, and I just can't risk that, man. She's like, okay, $25. Like, all right, fine.
Yeah, it's gotten to the point now where those boxes are almost the best for me because they're just prefabbed. You know, as long as I fit the weight restriction, I'm good.
Yeah. That's it. If you go overweight, they'll still charge you more. I remember I used to work in a shipping warehouse. So that was always like, I'd try to trick the system sometimes. So like I'd have a really big envelope, but I'd like fold it a bunch and keep the weight under. So they're like, okay, yeah, you get like $2 off this package. It's like, yeah. My boss loved it when I did that. The customers, not so much.
Oh, I can imagine.
See their fucking rolled up scroll of their envelope.
Oh, fuck. Anyway. What?
What's going on?
Oh, just open that up and go, oh, fuck, what?
Oh, yeah. Just like, where do I cut this? Try to find the expert tape seam.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll bust up some more of that do-si-do lemon G and start off with that one. That's delicious.
Oh, yeah. So I have some cherry blossom and I have some mystery weed.
So I can't remember what I ground up.
No, like the bag literally says mystery ounce.
That works.
I'm not too sure what it is, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. So I've got myself a rig that's cleaned and ready to go. The original Dynavap setup, and then everything else here and ready to roll. So
okay, cool. Well, we can go through the sort of basic or simple stuff first. So grab the little glass tube you have, the one that's just a tube.
Yeah.
Without the bong connection. That won't be pretty quick to go through. So yeah, part of the prize I sent you was like actually part of my prize from a giveaway I won on Instagram a couple months ago. Because he gave me like duplicates of everything, and I was just like, okay, I love this, but I don't need 5 of them, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's get the autofocus action going on here. Gotta remember that. Okay, so I have the green one here. You're gonna have the clear version. So basically, this is just like to replace your stem piece. So like you can use the little condenser inside, or you can use it just raw dog, like just the tip there and nothing inside, and it'll give you a bit more of like a pipe style experience, like a steamroller kind of.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it's just kind of fun to experiment with it. But yeah, that like you could take apart your M and put it in there, or you could just use it raw glass, and then then it's a little easier to clean because you just have to put away the one glass stem. So I figured that one would be fun for you just to play around with dry. You can see it works with pretty much any Dynavap condensers and accessories. So like this is my Omni setup, which fits in there and everything works.
Nice.
So if you ever extend, you can always try it out in the glass stem, just kind of fun. What else did I send you? I sent you this guy, which is this one's your 18 millimeter. Wait, am I in focus? Yeah. Oh, it is in focus. Nice. So you've got the purple one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the larger hole there is where you stick your Dynavap bowl, and then the little hole goes in the bong. So this one, I haven't used that much. It fits pretty nicely on an 18 millimeter connection, and it's supposed to work on 14 too, but with 14, I found it was a bit wobbly. So if you have like a good 18 bong that you want to try it with, that might work better.
Oh, I should see how clean this one tastes.
It's always a good barometer.
You know what? I've got a 14 right here. That's clean. I get a little bit of like just ambient. So it'll be interesting to see how the ambient compares to nothing.
Yeah, there you go. You can see.
Because I just to see, like, because you said that the last time that if there is some like if you can taste the smoke off it, it's gonna pull. I'm just curious because I've got the 2 right here. I'm curious to see how much it's going to.
Yeah, I mean, if you've only taken like one little rip through it, it might not be so bad. Like you just won't get that full terp blast at the beginning, but after a couple bowls with the vape, you'll kind of get it to even out a bit more in the flavor department. I mean, you'll still get a big hit though, so it just won't taste as nice, basically.
Well, and with how clean I keep my rigs, I'm sure that's going to help as well.
Exactly. Yeah, the cleaner the better. I would say if you want to use even the same rig, like if you use one of your normal flower rigs that you smoke out of, just clean it and vape first, and then you get the most enjoyment out of the vape. But yeah, if you put it through a dirty bong, I mean, it's just, I feel like the real advantage is that it kind of smooths out the harshness from a dry vape, and it lets you enjoy the flavor a lot more. Even though it kind of also, some people argue, mutes the flavor a little bit, or the water steals some of your terps or some shit. I'm not sure exactly how that all works. Like it is a bit smoother, but if it's a good loud strain, it's going to taste good and loud no matter what you run it through, right?
Yeah, exactly. I find the same thing, that when I'm running my bongs, it's a toned down experience, but it's more intensive because I'm just more smoke is involved. I'm burning more. There's more being inhaled. Like there's the give and the take to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a bigger hit, but you also like, you want to take that bigger hit because you have the cooling and the filtration that the water provides to make you able to handle that bigger hit.
Exactly.
So I feel, especially with vapes, I find a lot of times like I'll give a smoker my Dynavap and they'll like be like, Jesus Christ, how do you fucking hit that thing all day? That's so harsh. And I'm like, yeah, well, it's not as harsh when you're used to it, but it still makes me cough, man. If you watch my videos, I edit out my coughs, but I always leave a little bit in,
Oh yeah, like this at the end, like I would say that this is probably one of the smoothest smoking vaporizers I've come across, and the fact that fuck, that looks good actually in the glass. I've been just playing
Yeah,
with it, trying
man.
to get the condenser to work in there, but I'm gonna have to take a run with that. Um, it's
Yeah, I do like that glass setup with the see-through. It's a lot of fun too. It's just like I showed Nikki these when I got my package, and like there was a purple glass one. I was just like, you should try that with your pink and purple Dynavap. Now it's hers. It's like, yep.
yeah, yeah. That it's not surprising. There's been a couple of
Nice.
things where Jackie's looked over my shoulder and went, "What's that? Oh, that's mine now." It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that
Appreciate that.
happens.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so yeah, this thing is pretty straightforward. I mean, it does what it does. If you want, even if you don't find you like it that much through a bong, you can always just use it as a paperweight or something to hold your extra tip on. I didn't like this one that much because if you try to use it with a torch, it's a little bit tricky because like you don't have that much room for your fingers.
Yeah.
But it does like work good, and it limits the sort of air path, so you get like a pretty strong hit through it, which I think it's kind of good through an 18 millimeter piece. You know, you want to get a good hit through all the perks or whatever you've got going on.
Yeah, exactly. You want to have that airflow be utilized.
Exactly. And then the last one I sent you. Oh, I don't have a clean one, but oh yeah, I sent you a tip too. I forgot about that. So the extra bowl I sent you is like this one. It's titanium. So aside from being more expensive than the stainless steel one, it actually kind of heats up a little different. Like you'll notice you'll hear a click a lot faster, maybe a good 5 seconds faster than with the stainless steel one. And it also cools down a bit faster too. So like you'll get a more intense hit at the beginning, but it'll ramp down a bit quicker, which personally I find I like it the best for a bong to use the titanium tips, just because they give you a little more oomph on like your first hit from it. And so yeah, and I'm pretty sure I put that tip attached to just a 14 millimeter glass stem. This is a 10, but the one I gave you was 14 and a little bit longer.
Yeah, it was a 14 you sent. This do-si-do lemon G from Bold through the glass stem. Holy shit. Like, this would have blown the score that I gave it with the metal away. Like, this is crazy good flavor on it.
Yeah, no, it really changes. And like, if you want to even go full glass, like I say, you could take out the condenser and just use the tip and the glass stem itself.
Yeah, I would definitely be interested in seeing that.
Yeah, actually, I can do that right now. I have like a half bowl setting in here right now, but just for demonstration. I actually haven't tried it without a condenser in it, so this will be first time for me too. The one thing I remember is the air hole is a little louder because it's just a big hole, but
Yeah.
you know, that's not really a big deal.
Definitely, this is gonna be my go-to setup. That the glass for at least for the reviews.
Yeah, just to get that pure glass. And like what's nice too is you can like the hole is kind of offset, so depending how you want to set it up, you can have it like closer to the bowl, so that you clear more of your hit at once, or you can have it like further away, so it's kind of adding more fresh air. You know, you can sort of play around with how you want to use it, like all the Dynavap things.
Yeah, like I'm interested enough that I'm popping that condenser out and I'm gonna run just a straight pipe with the exact same strain just to see what the difference is gonna be.
Or because this is pipe with you here as well.
Because it'll be interesting to see how much actual vapors coming directly off of this too. Because that's the one thing that I miss seeing with that full metal wrap is you don't see the smoke in action. Yeah. Where with like some clear pipes, or even just like the smoke glass, you still see the smoke moving. That's always the fun part for me too.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's what you're gonna like about using it through the bong too. Then,
Yeah.
that's one of my favorite things. I love like vapor through a bong too. Has like it never gets yellow, so it really stays like milky. And so a lot of somebody on the 420 Vapes on Discord was joking. It's like, yeah, when I combust my bowl accidentally, I call it eggnog. But when I have a normal hit, it's it's full fat. It's 3%. Ooh, that is tasty.
It it almost seems like the air is a little bit more restricted than it was with the condenser in there.
Interesting.
Like it almost seems like I'm having to draw more, feels more so like a straw than I did before.
Yeah, with it fully closed, like that's a fucking tight draw. But
Yeah.
you can also, I think the clear one had a good angle on it too. He sort of makes the air holes angled, so you can still rock a little like half opened, like sort of roll it. It's interesting because you just looking at it, you're like, oh, it must have more airflow just because you're taking out that tube. But the condenser doesn't really seal the air path either. It has a weird way of working.
Yeah. It's like it goes from tighter to way more airflow, like when you're rocking it.
Or you could try like, I'll try one here. This is something I've heard people do with just right. Oh shit, my induction heater just died. Got a lighter though. But I've heard people try this, say that actually George, the Dynavap creator, says like try just hauling on it without covering the hole at all, like for an M. I'm curious to try it with this setup to see how it's how it'll work.
Get a little water hydration.
Stay hydrated, kids.
Always need the H2O when you're consuming that glorious cannabis.
Wow, that was loud. That was a nice hit though. Shit.
It sounds like a jet engine taking off.
T-3, 2, 1.
Yeah, you pair that up with the right genetic, it is liftoff. Holy shit. all day I could sit there with that do-si-do lemon G and just sip on that. Oh god, it's tasty. And if I want to get real crazy, I got that funfetti. That's at like almost 5% terps. I'm thinking shit. that might be the bong rip. The first bong rip is diving into that one.
That's a good idea.
Make it real terpy.
Okay. Yeah. So like some of these things too are like this particularly might be something you get more use out of later when like if you get an induction heater or something like that.
Yeah.
But I figured like this way now you have like basically all of the like non-standard options, but like all the sort of options in the Dynavap like universe. So
yeah, kind of it's branching out within what I already have, right? Like it's adding to what I'm more likely to use.
Yeah, I think the bong's gonna be a game changer for you once you get used to using it through that. Because that, like, for me, that was like what sealed the deal. Like I was already like, okay, Dynavap, I could see this being like a thing I do instead of smoking joints all the time. And then like the fact that I could run it through a bong, I was just like, well, yeah, okay, like I don't need to smoke anymore.
That's not bad.
It looks kind of silly.
That's it. Honestly, in this rig though, it's not
that's
that
gonna
big. It's not gonna be a crazy look either, because at least when it's kind of straight on, it suits this rig, and that's why I was looking at it. I'm like, for something that doesn't look weird, this rig matches it well. Outside of having a crazy hot piece of fucking metal that close to my eyes, we'll see where that takes us. But
well, I mean, this is how I use mine, you know.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, not much farther.
It would have this there, so pretty much always about to have my nose in some wood. But
yeah,
but
I definitely need to get myself set up with a heater.
There. Yeah, man. There's some new ones coming out this year. Well, allegedly coming out this year that have been being hyped for a while, but the market's going to blow up a bit more for heaters. I think this year we're going to see some more affordable options.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah. I mean, you can always get a plug-in one, and that'll be your cheapest option. But it's still a bit of an investment if you don't use it that often, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That's my one big thing. Let's see what this first haul's like.
Oh yeah, you got that milk, baby. You got that 2%. I feel like that rig should give you really good flavor too. It's not too big of a chamber.
I definitely need to get myself a heater. That's gonna change this whole thing. Just super flavorful though. Like that, that's something that I would start my day off with this to dive into lighting bowls at the end of the day.
Yeah, that makes sense. This is 100%. Like as because you do like 3 different temperatures in the bong, right? So like this could be a 4th temperature in the bong. You're like not even combusted temperature in the bong.
Exactly.
And then you go to the hemp wick, then you go to the clipper, you know. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I thanked you last time, but I have been getting a lot of use out of the clipper lighter you sent me. I didn't realize they were refillable. I was like, oh fuck, this is refillable.
Yeah, they're huge benefit that way.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I don't smoke joints often, but like that's basically like an excuse to go outside now. It's like, yo, let's roll joints, we can go for a walk. So I find lighting joints with the torch, you lose any potential of it tasting good pretty quickly.
Yeah, you just burn everything off and it doesn't burn consistently.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
although it's nice on a windy day
here. Yeah, that's the one win it has. Oh yeah, that a heater's definitely going to be needed on there. Because even for me, just to start my day off, I'd rather hit a heavy, flavorful vape bowl like this, because I'm consuming less overall cannabis in weight.
Right.
But I'm getting the full benefit of it. Where when I'm just smoking bowls, I'm fine with just smoking bowls.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like that's one of the things I really like for a morning hit too, because you know, like even with a Dynavap, like okay, it's not the same as like turning down your chip or whatever, you know, like turning the temperature down, but you can adjust how you want to hit it to get that lighter experience too. And like with the bong, it kind of evens it out, I find. So it's like you could go in for that really like intense hit, like heat it super low on the cab, go a little past the click, and then you put it through the bong and it's just like, oh, it's like silky. Like you just get this big silky cloud and then you just taste amazing, you know. But if I were to hit that dry, it would be like, oh, like that was really good, but fuck, I need like to chug 2 glasses of water now, you know. Like,
well, it takes the heat off of it. Like that's the biggest thing for me, is it takes the heat and it takes that kind of dry effect from it and leaves you like this funfetti, perfect example of it, leaves me with this rich candied fruit flavor. Like that is by far 100% what I'm tasting, is just candied fruit flavor. And that genetic tastes like that when you grind it up and you bust it into a bowl. But this is way more enjoyable for wanting to kind of explore this flavor. Like it changes the game in that sense, which is fun.
Yeah, you taste notes that you wouldn't normally taste, like I find when I first really got into it, what I would tell people to like sell them on it, because really my goal is to get all my stoner friends to have one so I don't have to let them try mine.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, or some vaporizer. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Dynavap, but I was just like, look, like smell the bag. Okay, like take your bud, open the bag, smell it, and then grind some up and put it in this bowl and take the first hit, and like you'll see what I'm talking about. Like it's the same. It's like you're just eating the smell. Like
Yeah.
you're just like smoking the essence of it. Of course, like you go in for a couple more hits, you're gonna lose the big terpy effect. But you'll find probably with the titanium bowl, you might taste the terps a little bit longer. That's what I found anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like a night and day difference, but yeah, titanium's a little bit cleaner than stainless steel. But like, I mean, yeah, if you don't vape all the time, you might not taste that much of a difference. But
Well,
a little bit,
I
probably a little bit.
I wouldn't say that I can taste as big of a difference as like you will, but I think because of how varied I smoke, I'm still able to pick up enough of a difference where I can notice it, right? Like that's
Yeah,
the one reason why I like doing the reviews. Like selfishly, I like doing the reviews the way that I do them is I get the benefit of maintaining a palate for the pipe. And in a light sense, because that Regal cigar has its own flavor. And I openly admit to it every review because I like that flavor. So if a bud's not going to taste good, I'd rather it just taste like a Regal cigar. So I can go, okay, not my cup of tea. But every other method, it's maintaining a little bit of a palate, because every time I get a new flavor, a new experience, it's trying to connect it to what it tastes like or what it can taste like, or comparing it to past genetics that I've had where I've been able to put a finger on. It's close to this and outside experiences too.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, like that's why I figured you'd be a good candidate, just to give you the sort of more fancy accessories to try out, because I've given a few people the M kit, and like most of them are like, this is all I'm ever gonna need. I don't, like don't talk to me about more shit. I don't want it to get more complicated. But I'm like, you know what? I feel like Trevor's the kind of guy who would appreciate having some options. So I think it's gonna work out for you.
Well, and it's one of those things where it may not be something I smoke out of every single day, but there'll be days where I look at it and go, man, it's been a month since I've hit that. And then I go for like a week, 2 weeks where that's all I smoke out of, because it's just, and then I start phasing it out. And then that same thing happens. Oh, it's been about a month. Let's pull this out and play with it again.
Yeah. For me, when I was first sort of like transitioning, like I never really wanted to quit smoking altogether. That wasn't my initial goal, but like it was sort of a victim of circumstances. Like, okay, well, my neighbors are complaining, so I should probably stop smoking. But like, I still want to get high and like figure out a way to do it. So yeah, like that was how I kind of started. And then once I kind of like got used to using it, I sort of was preferring it, over just smoking, but I would still smoke every once in a while. But then got to the point where it's like, okay, I'd buy like cheap weed to roll joints with, and then I'd save my like top shelf quads for the Dynavap. So I'd buy like an eighth of like some 4A like super expensive shit, and then just buy like a set of like the cheapest garbage I can find, and just make the eighth last like a month and make the 7 go by in like a week, And then at a certain point, it's just like, why don't I just buy only the nice shit? And we can only vape, and I'll use way less weed. And yeah, but then it kind of catches up to you at a certain point, because I feel like now I'm closer to vaping as much as I used to smoke. Like your tolerance shifts over time.
Exactly.
But yeah, still not as bad. I still don't crush quarter ounce a day anymore, so that's good.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I'm finding lately, is especially with that 12 days of Christmas, my tolerance fucking takes a little bit of a spike, because it's like double the reviews, double the content, and it's usually a lot of really good stuff. So I'm like, oh, buckling up. And then I come out of it and I'm like, oh, things slow down. And I just start chewing through my my kind of backlog of stuff I haven't smoked. I'm like, okay, we need to slow the fuck down a little bit. Let's bring your tolerance back to normal levels.
Yeah, I found I don't really take tea breaks. I know a lot of people recommend that, but it's just because like I don't always like vape or smoke just because I want to get high. Like I also just enjoy vaping. Like I just enjoy doing it. I like the flavor. I like looking at the smoke. You know, like everything about it. So like I don't want to take a break where I just don't do that for a week or even like a couple days. It's like, why would I do that when I have all these different devices I can use? So like my strategy is kind of always start with the smallest dose possible and then like increase my bowl size throughout the day. So I'll switch between my different devices throughout the day. And by nighttime, I'm running the terp torch and I'm taking dabs and like then I'm good for sleep. But then like it kind of resets usually the next day. But what I do take tea breaks from is dabs because I like never was that big into dabs before. So like I'll get like 3 or 4 grams, dab them all. Once that's done, usually takes like at least a month for me to go through like a 3.5 of dabs.
Yeah.
Unless I'm like reviewing them and doing like 6 dabs in a row.
Oh,
So like I'll go that amount of time and then I'll just not have dabs. Like I'll just cold turkey, not have dabs for a week. And then the next time I buy dabs, it's like, you know, like flies me to the moon again.
Yeah. And it's funny. I find that during the summer, I tend to do that more, where the winter I drop dabs constantly. And it's just a convenience thing, right? Like during the summer, I smoke way more joints because I'm just out and about, out doing shit. So it's easier to just spark up a joint and do that, or quickly hit the bowl and go back to that. Where in the winter, well, I'm sitting at home, they're in the fridge. Yeah, let's go grab one. They're tasty, right? Like I find myself doing that a little bit more. And then come the summer, I'll go like, holy shit, I haven't dropped a dab all week. Let's have some. And
I find winter too, like winter is also a better time to like ship dabs. Like if you order online a lot, like I guess you don't necessarily have to, but I know you still do sometimes. But like ordering online in the summer, if you like ordering some sauce and it's like 30 degrees outside, you get your package and it's like fucking melting out of the jar. Yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah, it can be a little nasty sometimes if you don't get good quality there.
Yeah, that's why
I've had a couple on the edge.
Yeah, it happens. Most of the sketchiest times I've had it happen were actually from LPs, which is like kind of funny.
Yeah,
but
sounds about right. Though.
I can't remember which one it was that I first tried from Shoppers Cannabis, and it was like it. Everything seemed fine, but okay. First of all, it was like a big, like 3.5 gram weed jar for the dabs. Yeah. You know, like those containers where they hollow out the bottom and then like the top just has your little dab jar in it.
Was it the Verse Crumble? The White Rhino White Rhino Crumble?
The Verse I think was cool. I think it was Atlas terp sauce, I believe. That just the sauce itself was really good. Like I remember being like, this was actually like top shelf shit, but it had no seal on it. Like it was just like this container, and then you open the container and the fucking sauce is right there. So like you open up a jar with like a top this big, and then there's a tiny little jar inside just fully open.
Yeah,
so well, like yeah, I guess the big top is technically a seal. But it just freaked me out because I've only ever gotten dabs where like the top is sealed like that too. So I was just like, wow, I don't know. I got to put this as a negative because I've never seen this before.
Yeah, the Verse one was like that, and I didn't like it at all. I had to borrow a lid from one of the other jars I'd emptied out because I did not like the way that it was packaged at all. And they keep packaging them like that. And I think the new diamonds that they released it's a guava and I can't even remember what the cross is, but like it's going to be a good genetic to smoke. But I think it's the same containers, so it's going to have that lid on it, which is just So like that is
I had
one factor that keeps me from buying it again.
I had like two completely different experiences from the verse crumble. Like the time that I bought it for the review I did, it was like a lot harder and more crumbly, but like dried out kind of. So like, but it still was okay. Like I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty good, but like, yeah, it did have a seal on it though when I got it that time. So I don't know, maybe they've changed that. But then the second time I got it, remember it was like way fresher because it was like wet. Like it was still like, like it
Oh,
was like jelly almost. It didn't even really look like crumble. I was just like, I was like confused, and it wasn't as terpy though. So it's like I don't know if that one was fresh or the dried out one was fresh. Like I don't know what's going on here. Something weird. I guess their quality control is a little spotty over there.
well, I've got a coworker that she buys it all the time, like 2 containers
Okay.
a week, all the
Oh
time,
yeah.
kind of consistent. So I should pick it up again and see.
Maybe they've sorted that out because I know like when I first bought them, I had just seen it on shoppers like that week. So I don't know if it was even on the rec market yet because sometimes they'll release stuff on some of the medical markets a little early. Or it might have been on rec, but like in one province,
Yeah, well, I think that Crumble was released in Alberta first, or BC and Alberta first.
Right. Yeah. Versus based out west, right? So yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Or their parent company is.
Yeah, well, you did the review, I think 2 or 3 weeks after I did mine of it. So it was right around the same time that it started popping up.
Okay. Okay. So yeah. So I guess it's always confusing for me because in Quebec, we just don't get concentrates on rec. So I just I'm always looking at medical.
Oh, our list is fucking crazy, dude, for the concentrates right now. It's not like it's not a full page, but it's half a page, at least 2/3 now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, diamonds, sauce, fucking batter, decent amount of shatter. Yeah.
I gotta try some more of the hash we have here in Quebec because there's a couple. The highly Dutch hash I liked a lot, but I know there's some that are like kind of lemons, but they're still like $20 a gram, So it's like it's like you really gotta wade through which one's gonna be good. And since we have the 30% cap, none of them, they're all around the same strength, like THC wise, like they'll all be like 25 to 30%. So it's more like, okay, is this a good consistency? Does this have good flavor? Or unless you buy like a CBD hash, which they have a few of those too, which I'm not sold on CBD hash personally.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see where that goes.
Maybe a 1-to-1. I saw 1 or 2 that were like half and half hash, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'd rather just get flour for that personally.
Yeah, I'm contemplating about what I'm gonna do with the triple X. They're gonna have so much dry sift from it about whether I should make like a traditional hash or keep it and save it for when I get a good rosin press, or like there's some fucking potential there that I'm not sure where I want to take it.
Keef rosin sounds like it would be
a
fun time. Maybe not as flavorful, but very strong.
And the triple X is supposed to maintain like 27 to 31% THC.
Ooh.
So like that's why I'm like, there's gonna be quite a bit of dry sift off of that thing, and it is crystal coated, and it still has 2.5 weeks to finish, where the other girls only have like a half week to a week.
Oh fuck.
Like it's a 70-day flower cycle, so it's gonna be interesting, and the weight that it's packing on now is crazy. Like we're starting to get like the nugs are really starting to push through those sugar leaves. I don't know if I'm gonna be trimming those sugar leaves off, or it's just gonna be the tips that are cut, because that nug's gonna be just encompassing it all. Which, if that's the way it is, I'm not gonna complain.
It's gonna be, oh man, I can't wait to see pictures of that.
Yeah, well, I'll have to send some to you tonight. Yeah, because the triple X is looking good. It's still really green. I've got the one that's growing organically that's starting to color off like crazy. It's getting some reds, some yellows. I at the end of next week, I'm going to cut the nutrients on it. It's going to get a 2-week flush. That's what I'm doing with all these girls. Remo suggests a 1 week, but no, I'm doing a 2-week minimum flush on it. I'm not risking the chance for it to for it to still be a little bit rich when we end up cutting it down, right?
Right.
So flush those out. The pre-98 Bubba Kush and garlic butter, that one is purple.
Oh yeah.
Like it is crazy purple. And then the ice cream cake is starting to pick up a little bit of red too. It's a different kind of a look because it's almost like a pale green, red, yellow combo.
Oh,
so
shit.
I don't know.
What's that plant? Poinsettia?
Yeah, it's losing the rich green chlorophyll, but it's not really transitioning into a yellow, or it's just kind of fading away with little hints of red and yellow being wrapped around it. It's a cool looking sugar leaf on there, and I think it's going to be pretty red once we hang it up and it has a little time to dry. It's going to be good.
Sounds good.
Well, and I'm going to try out some new, like I got sent out some of these auto cure bags to try. So that's what I'm going to end up doing. Holy shit. I haven't really pulled these out yet. I tucked them aside just to have them when we're done. So we've got, what size is this one? 58 to 60. This one, we got 3 different sizes in here. I think we've got a 1 pound, a half, and then a 1 ounce. Okay. So we're probably going to end up with the triple X in here, the Bubba Kush 2.5 in here, and most likely the pre-98 Bubba going in here. The ice cream cake I might just end up jarring. But I'm interested to see how well these bags work.
So like you put them in there instead of your mason jar to cure?
So these are an auto cure bag. So you throw them in there and they do everything for you. They maintain the humidity. Here, he sent the guy that sent them to me. So he set me up. Let's see. So the window bag, there is the 1 pound, the ounce, and the half ounce. So I'm going to say this looks like a half ounce. This is probably a full ounce, the 1 pound, and then the 1 pound. So let's see. Generally, we recommend a 10 to 14 day dry. 10 days is recommended for loose nugs, while 14 days is recommended for a dense batch. Dry room. Okay. Curing. Now that your cannabis is properly dry, it's time to place it into one of the groove bags, terp lock pouches, or wickets. When filling, we recommend leaving a minimum of 25% of the bag empty for headspace, and that'll power the tech. After closure, the film will bring the internal environment to 58 to 62% relative humidity to create the perfect microclimate to cure your cannabis. And then you confirm the device that you're using is properly. Oh, and then you seal it.
Shit, that seems
fucking
too good to be true almost.
Yeah, no burping required, no nothing. It's supposed to maintain the weight of your buds that are going in there. It's supposed to be mold prevention and terpene preservation. So I am intrigued to see how these groove bags are going to work.
Yeah, man, that sounds pretty sick.
And if they work out well, I would 100% pick up a bunch of these for the curing side of things, just so that I can put it and forget it, essentially. Like I'm definitely one of those people that would not complain about the convenience of automating the curing side of the bud. If it ends up with a good overall cure, we could
really streamline your process there.
Well, exactly. It's just I go and I put it, and then I have it in the day planner. This is the day that she hits 45 days, open up, or 30 days, open up, pull a nug out. 45 days, open it up, pull a nug out. 60 days, open it up, pull a nug out. See what she's like, right? 45 days is usually the minimum I would even consider. 60 is what I aim for because I hear like that. I don't know why, but a 60-day cure is just, it gives it that little more time to just finish ripening up. Oh,
Have you ever tried like eating raw weed, like raw off the plant?
no.
I was watching what's his name? Elias Theodorou. He's like a UFC fighter. He's actually pretty cool. He's kind of changing cannabis laws in the UFC to where people with medical weed prescriptions like can fight because he got
Yeah.
kicked out of the UFC originally for that. And he was talking about how like one of the things he does in his diet is uses raw weed like for his like training when he's like working out and shit. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't smoke it. Like I mix it in with a salad or put it in a smoothie. And because he like, and so we're just like, wait, what? Like raw weed? Like, does it even work? But he was saying because like curing is only a process that's used like to make it smokable. So
Yeah.
if you just take the raw weed and dry it, it gets kind of like a spinach consistency almost, and you can like really easily mix that in with smoothies. I haven't personally tried it because I don't have any raw weed to fuck with. But I was curious. I was like, huh, maybe that's like because I know you're into like cooking and
Yeah.
general health and working out and stuff. So
The biggest benefit is that while cannabis is being produced, the plant is producing cannabinoids throughout, right? Because we've got the the active the active cannabinoids, the heavily psychoactive or interactive cannabinoids that are like THC, CBD, but there's the precursor to it, which is the acidic version of it, THCA, CBDA, CBGA, all of those. And you'll find those in the higher abundance in the live plant and with the drying. So he could be almost going for more of like the precursor benefits because there is an article in, was it High Times or Maximum Yield? One of those two, where it was a woman that was using THCA from I want to say Charlotte's Web genetic, so not Charlotte's Web, but a genetic of that, or a similar strain, and she was using it to make tea, like the fan leaves to make tea. And it has, and that has THCA in it. And she's finding that it was beneficial for her seizure activity.
Yeah, because I don't remember this guy's particular condition, but it was something to do with like muscle atrophy and like it was I can't remember exactly what condition he had, but it's something that like really affects your entire body, and especially if you're doing like something physical. And so for him, like he was saying, eating the raw cannabis helps him to work out without getting all stoned, but he still gets like a lot. Like for him, it's the anti-inflammatory and pain relief properties. So he'd just actually grinds up a whole like nug or a whole bit of a plant in his smoothie, and he's saying like he'll drink that while he's working out. So it's like it was funny. The reason he got originally banned was like they do like a piss test or whatever to see
the
your
USADA test,
like THC level, and they're like, yeah, like the limit was something like 30 milligrams per milliliter of your blood or whatever. I don't remember the exact measurement, but he's like, yeah, like when they measured me, I was at 300,000 times the limit, just normal, just sober. That's how much like cannabinoids were in me, So it's like there's no way I could ever pass this ridiculous test, but like it obviously doesn't affect me fighting because I fucking win. So like
that's really what makes me think more on that acidic precursor, because it doesn't have the same psychoactivity that THC and CBD do, because CBD does have a psychoactive effect. It's just not as potent as THC is. So
it's psychoactive in a different way, like it triggers through different receptors, right?
Well, it triggers different receptors, but it's psychoactive in the same way that coffee and nicotine are psychoactive.
Right. Yeah. Like it does change your brain chemistry a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
To where it will actually play but it changes it enough to where it's going to play a factor on how you respond to things, and whether it's a minor or a beneficial factor, it's still a factor. So
Yeah. No, I thought that was really interesting too, because this guy, he's like, oops, he definitely like gets high too. Like he's like, oh yeah, like I medicate, but like he vapes too. He's just like he's sponsored by Stores and Bickle, I think, which is pretty cool. They don't sponsor too many people. But yeah, like he's like always talks about like he has his indica, his CBD, and that's it. He doesn't fuck with sativas. And like I don't know, it was really interesting seeing him like, because I still am from the time when I started smoking weed. Like I was in high school and it was like, oh, you smoke weed, you're a fucking lazy pothead, like that.
yeah,
Like that stigma was really big. So it's really cool to see this like super healthy, like just also very good looking athlete just like talking about how like weed is a part of like every step of his day, and like he has this whole regimen and like mixed in with his workout routine. It's really cool. But yeah, the raw weed thing, I definitely want to try a raw weed smoothie at some point. That sounds like even if it doesn't give me any benefits, it'll taste delicious if it's the right strain.
yeah. I have well, even if it's just like adding the fan leaves and stuff, because that's what I'm curious about, is whether it's the bud or whether it's the whole plant they're utilizing. Because
I think both would work, right? But you can. I was watching some other like weed cooking shows where a lot of times they'll just use a fan leaf like as a garnish, just because like, hey, just so you know, there's weed here. Like they'll put a fan leaf on it. But like there was all kinds of different ways they were using. There was one person who actually lit up a joint in this like weird contraption to like put actual joint smoke on the bowl, and then they sealed the bowl and give them this plate of, I can't remember what it was. So like people using THCA and CBDA powder to mix into like a sauce or something like that. It's really fucking cool. It just kind of like opens your eyes, when you're
the
like
smoke infused.
I saw you, yeah, the smoke infused thing tripped me out. I was like, I probably would like send that back. Like if I didn't know that's what I was getting, just open up your plate. It's like, yo, somebody left a roach in my soup. What the fuck, guys? Like I got high when I worked in a kitchen too, but I didn't leave evidence in the food.
There's ash on the icing, you assholes.
Yeah. My restaurant would smell too. Better not be in an illegal state.
There's just one guy in the back with eyes that look like Kelton at the end of a garage sesh. He's just the bag puller. Yeah, he's getting high on his own fucking supply. That's for damn sure. It's like every time well, he's got to keep that cherry going somehow.
Exactly. Just one. It's one fucking 2-meter joint for the whole shift. Yeah. Just keep it running. We got to smoke those plates.
You get to the 9 o'clock dinner and it's just real soggy and wet at the end. Just been.
Yeah, you're just getting res at that point.
Yeah. Just needs a constant flow of water to be able to breathe and be able to function his lips.
Here's a nice dab of tar on top of your meal.
Yeah. Yeah, little tar and some excess smoker butter. Oh.
The guy coughs. Here you go.
The dinners get more appetizing the later in the evening we go. Little extra seasoning, boys.
Some young guy.
Some young guy. No, that's the retiree that's coming back. Cream of some war vet. The only job that we give Lieutenant Dan because his new legs got stolen. So,
and he lost his cancer, so it was a good time.
Yeah, he's gumming those plates to you guys as fast as he can.
Oh, so many health violations.
Hey,
call the inspector.
Until they get rid of that rat running the motherfucker's hair, we can't really ask any questions.
Oh, God.
The amount of movie references in that short little spiel there.
I was trying to keep track of them all there. I was like, fuck, we went through it. That was like a whole decade of film references at least.
There's movies where people get their heads blown off, and there's movies where it's a cartoon rat. A little bit for the family there, folks.
18 plus only though. According to YouTube.
Yeah. You can cut that clip and that's family friendly, but
yeah. I wonder, I have to try and edit that out and just post just that and see if it gets age restricted. I think anything on my channel just automatically gets it now, but I don't know. It's fun to try and game the system.
Yeah, I think the majority of mine are auto age restricted on it. But that's all of a sudden got a bunch of kids wanting to watch. These guys are talking about Ratatouille. Yeah, no, they're not.
Just do a full episode on Ratatouille review by Trevor Redley.
We got a Patreon watch along, folks. Not meant for the kids to be joining.
You just like break YouTube. Like 10 billion kids watch. As soon as you light up a joint, demonetize.
Oh man, I could. It is so ridiculous. Home, yeah. Don't try this at home, but
we might.
Yeah, those.
I find it funny.
Every time I keep thinking about it, I'm like, those fucking watch-alongs, if you could get that set up the right way, they are 100% worth watching. But it's funny how it's a gentle balance between entertaining and would you guys just shut the fuck up?
Yeah, just let me watch the damn movie.
Yeah. Like, you gotta be either on a movie where everyone's seen it, so the commentary is what they're there for, or you're on a movie where it's like, what the fuck are we watching? And the commentary helps make more sense.
Or less sense.
Or less sense, yeah. Yeah, I've got one movie that's the top of the list for when I go and do those watch-alongs. It'll be the first what the fuck addition to it. It's on YouTube for free, the full entire movie, so it'll work. Do I want another one of those? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel the same way about like whenever you see some bands will do this where they'll release their album and then they'll release a deluxe version that's literally just the album with like the singer and the fucking bass player doing a commentary over it. I'm like, why does this exist? Like, no one make a documentary. Don't make it. Like, what is the point of even releasing this on an audio medium? Like, so ridiculous.
Or the deluxe edition that has 2 more songs.
Well, sometimes I like it because those 2 more songs can be bangers.
Yeah.
It depends on the artist.
Yeah,
that's annoying too.
Well, when it's
nothing's changed. Here's an extra
$6.
song that it's like, yeah, like nothing's changed, but here's an extra song we didn't think was good enough the first time we released this album.
And you guys were upset because you heard it in a concert.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's hit. Because I'm pretty sure I've ran all. Yeah, both the genetics I wanted to run, I've hit on both bongs now once I hit the LA Kush Cake from Top Leaf on this one.
Oh yeah, like more I didn't really mention this, but it kind of goes without saying with Dynavap stuff, but you can interchange your bowls with all of your setups now too. So if you want to see like try the stainless steel through the bong or try the titanium on a dry setup, they'll all fit. And the glass stem, the just normal stem, the dry stem, the tip will fit on either side. So depending how you want to position it, you know, like you can do some fun shit with it. But yeah, like they're all pretty much like, I don't know. Some people I know prefer the stainless steel bowls through a bong because it kind of retains the heat a bit longer, so you can sometimes get a bigger hit.
Yeah.
But depends how you use it. It's all gonna, you'll find what's your favorite. I'm sure we might have already.
I just need to get a heater on this thing. Like, I honestly feel like I'm missing out a lot of potential flavor trying to spin this fucking thing.
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
And like this one too. Like the actual Dynavap and the glass isn't bad because I can spin the whole thing along my finger.
Yeah, more.
So I don't mind the torch, but these, it's too big. It's just a little bit too big.
What you can try to make it a little easier is, actually, I'm not sure if this is how you already do it, but like, actually, I'll use different ones so you can see a little better. Whoa, what the fuck just happened there? Oh, my backdrop just got. Oh, whoa!
Oh.
Graham, you bastard! Oh, his fault.
It was a matter of time before one of ours went down.
All right, well, hold on a second then.
That one is definitely getting clipped. I saw a little bit of teetering, and then it's like, okay, what's going? And there she went. Oh, that was golden. Okay. So we've hit up the LA Kush cake through the 14 mil. We've hit up the Dosey Dough Lemon G through the 14 and the 18. I got the 18 ready to go here. We're going to hit it one more time through the 18 mil and see what it has to offer with that LA Kush cake. But I must say these hits through the rigs are really nice. And the intensity that it has to offer is really, really great, you guys. So, as you guys have been sitting here and watching me and Tron play through all these kind of additional devices we have, which way do you think you would enjoy smoking the most? I am definitely loving that 14 mil adapter, and I think the 18 mil adapter will work better when we have the conduction heater, you guys. The ability to, like Tron, just slide it on and have that consistent and even heat throughout the entirety of this tip. I think that would give us a major benefit. I actually didn't hit that through the glass. So let's go ahead and run it with the condenser through the glass because I definitely preferred the condenser included in with the glass tube. I just found it flowed better overall with the overall airflow and taste that it provided. So let's go ahead and not lose that tip. We'll grab that and pack this up for another round with the LA Kush cake from Top Leaf. So still got a little bit. I still got 2 or 3 nugs left of that ounce that me and my buddy Kron split. While we're waiting on Tron to finish getting his screen back set up and rolling, we'll give you guys a little bit of a heads up as to what we have planned. This week, we are running through the 1964 base reviews. We've smoked our way through the organic comatose on Monday. Tomorrow, we'll be getting into a little bit of the hash that I'm really excited to see, and you guys will get to see this rig featured again with our hash bowls. I'm definitely intrigued to see how that's going to hold up, and you'll get a little bit of a idea as to what the sour cookies is going to taste like, because we are going to smoke a bowl of that alongside with the comatose on the review, you guys, because I want to see how those two buds compare with the hash that company put out. But there we go. Backdrop's back going. We got the LA Kush cake packed up for another roll.
Nice. Oh yeah. So what I was trying to say before I was so rudely interrupted. If you want to try and make it a little easier for yourself, if you're using this, or even with the glass, the 14 millimeter one, rather than trying to do a continuous spin with it, like you can sort of just go like back and forth. This one is tricky though. Like I have small fingers and it's still like kind of weird for me. But yeah, it is. I think it's more designed with a heater in mind, because you just like press it in and then you're good to go. Like this one's dead right now and it won't work because it has a door. But with the normal one, you could just, press it in there with your tip.
Yeah, and like this almost see like I'm finding for it to work well, it needs to be pressed into the bong. So that's why I'm thinking this would work better with that condenser, because you're pushing it down into the bong. So you hold it steady, because when I just kind of let it float there, I wasn't getting a good air flow. And it might just be this specific rig that I'm using.
That's true. Glass varies a bit, but yeah, no, I noticed even with the last time I was using it with my top mount bubbler, which is like the only 18 millimeter piece I have. And I found with that one too, sometimes it just wouldn't, like it would seal perfectly and then it wouldn't seal, like it wobbled a lot. So you kind of have to push it in. Yeah. I thought it would work, but there might be 118 you have that'll work better with it, because sometimes like I have a few adapters I've tried it out with and they'll sit real nice and make a good connection, but then some they don't. So I don't know if it's necessarily the titanium or just the glass itself that's varying so much. But yeah, this one is kind of more of a novelty, I think, too. It's like, it's just how small could we make a Dynavap stem,
Well, like
it's joking, it's still beautifully made, but it's just not
like
the most functional device.
It's I think it's one of those ones where it has its purpose, and the people who are going to use that purpose are going to love it, and they're going to have every single color.
Yeah.
The rest of us, it's honestly no different than where did I put it? Rear, these Hemper adapters. Right. No different than this. I've got one. I don't need another one. Would I like to have another one just in case I lose this? For convenience sake, yes. But I don't need another one. I've got one. I know where it is. I don't use it for really anything other than my reviews. And that's, I'm thinking where this might end up leaning, or at least until I get that heater. Once I have that heater, then it could end up being, or I find a bong that this fits in and it sits in there and it doesn't move. I'll get myself a tip for it that I like that fits with it. And it just, that's that rig. That's what it is. It's nothing else.
Another thing I like about it though, just as like I know this probably wasn't his intention designing it, but as just like a place to put a spare Dynavap bowl, like you can just put your bowl in here, set it down on the table or whatever. So just so you don't lose it or whatever. It came in a prize for me, so I have no horse in the race either. So I was just like, okay, the other two things he sent me were amazing. Like the glass stem is really good, and then he sent me this custom one, which is anodized. I think I showed you this before.
Yeah, that one's really cool.
And there's like a crazy cooling system inside that spins and shit. It's fucking rad. Like this is really his like flagship product. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know. I figured too it was just like a cool thing for you to have, even if you're not going to use this one that much, because I just kind of have it as an experimental piece. Like whenever I get something that's got 18 millimeter connection, I'm like, maybe I could do something with this, and I'll try it out, or fit it into some other rig somehow. But for now, it's just kind of like a really cool green little paperweight.
Yeah, like I've got one piece now that after seeing how well it works, and I got one rig where I think it would work really well with. Like if I got
Yeah.
a heater, it would like I think I've already got a rig where I could just go, oh, this is going to you. And it was the one where I was dropping the the larger dabs into it. This one right here. Let's just grab it. I know I'll need to deep clean it before it be any good for me, but for just single shower head perk, and then it's got a little bit of that puck one there, but for
It's got like a honeycomb thing on top too, or
yeah, it's got the honeycomb
okay.
up. Oh, but
That
that
might
does
be
not move. You slide that in there, and
Hey,
that does not move. There, that might be
I
the
think you
rig.
found a winner.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that.
Oh, that looks
It
fucking
needs.
good like that too. Well, that's a dirty
Yeah,
fucking bong though.
yeah, it's bad. Well, it's I've got bongs that I smoke out of them, and then I put them on the shelf, and then it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna smoke out of it, and then I go and clean it, and it looks brand fucking new as soon as I'm ready to use it.
And then you use it once and then yeah.
It builds like this is probably only 2 or 3 bowls, but I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, that's full chunks. That's just a big bowl that snapped in there.
That's one advantage of vaping in a bong too, is if you have a small bong that's like annoying to clean, like sometimes you have those weird little mini, like this mini recycler can be sort of annoying to clean sometimes, like the ISO doesn't get everywhere you want it to all the time. But like I've been vaping for a week in here, and like there's
just the down stem, yeah,
a little bit in the down stem, a little bit on the top of the recycler there, but it stays a lot cleaner, which is deceiving because you still want to change the water.
Yeah.
But it does
Huge.
stay a lot cleaner overall for the glass if you're only vaping.
Yeah, well, it's just there isn't any residue, right? Like with dabs, there's residue.
Because there's a bit
there's some reclaim that you get, and with that, it's almost
booger there.
Yeah. You get almost that half step better from the concentrates.
See, this is the rig I use with my terp torch.
Yeah.
So like I put much bigger bowls through it, and you can see it looks almost like there's a fucking little dab of butter in there, but that's resin, that's reclaim.
Yeah,
that's what comes through.
Yeah, so in that, I bet you that terp torch is probably a lot closer to somebody who drops dabs semi-regularly for the outcome, just because of the amount of actual vapor and potential resin.
Yeah, well, I think like this little booger is the same material in here, right? Wait,
well, it's just the amount.
The same material is just a smaller quantity, smaller bowl, smaller amount, so it's going to take longer to build up. Like with whatever bong I'm using, my terp torch, I clean it daily. With this, I can go a week or two because I'm putting a 0.05 in each bowl instead of a 0.15 or a 0.2 in each bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
Either way, I hit them in 2 or 3. I finish in 2 or 3 hits, but it's like it's all at a certain point. It's just how much weed's in there. It's gonna make the difference,
Oh, exactly. That plays well, and the type of strain too, because you can get a super resinous, and that'll definitely kick out a lot more.
Also, a weird one with maybe a little more vaporized. Actually, no, I think it would still have a similar effect if you're smoking. The consistency of your grind, like how coarse, how fine your grind is. That's the biggest thing for making a mess in your bong. I find, because a lot of vape companies recommend go with the finest grind you can, which sometimes is worth it. Like for my Vatman, I love a finer grind. I find it just works better, but finer grind is always going to dirty your screen up more, and obviously the particles are just smaller, so more of them can get past your screen. But for something like a terp torch, like the manufacturer even said, like coarse grind, if you want, don't even grind it. Actually, no, I think you still want to grind that, but for some vapes, it's like that. They're like, even Dynavap, they like pack a full nub, do a fine grind, do whatever you want. Like it'll work. It's gonna vape your weed if you heat it to the click. It'll do it. It doesn't care that much. But some other devices are more like picky about that. Like some will like really only give you a good hit with a fine grind, and Some won't, will just be too annoying to use if you don't use a coarse grind, you know?
Yeah, and I found that like vaporizers are more finicky when it comes to needing that finer grind where everything else you're combusting it. So yeah, is it going to be the best burn possible? No.
Yeah.
But
Well, I think the main science or pseudoscience that people say with that is that the fine grind makes more surface area exposed to the heat.
yeah.
So you'll get more of a visible cloud, but not necessarily the best representation of the terpenes. Although I find flavor wise, I go between like a medium and a really fine grind, and I don't find it tastes really like more degraded with a fine grind if you have the right device for it. It's just that it's more about maintenance. It's more like how often you're going to clean it. Like you're going to clean it twice as often if you use a fine grind.
Yeah.
Like it's going to build up more shit.
And I almost wonder if that's what's making the difference. You're cleaning it more often, so you're not having less things playing a factor. So in turn, like there's things that could contribute to it that people aren't necessarily taking into consideration. Right.
Yeah.
Because if you're changing your screens out more often with a finer grind, then technically you're going to have a more open airway. Like there's so many different, well, what if that you could sit here and play with that.
Well, I mean, yeah, we can really dissect the Dynavap, and that would be a whole episode onto itself for that. So I don't want to make this go all night here, but yeah, no, like when you really get into all the variables, like you have to play sort of like a game of like diminishing returns. Like, okay, I could change this about my grind, or I could change this about my heat, but is it going to be worth the amount of work I put in to change this to like give me an effect that's worth it? Or like, you know, yeah, I think diminishing returns is the right. I don't know if you've heard this theory before, the theory of diminishing returns, where it's like, yeah, you can buy a guitar. I say guitar because I watched it on a guitar YouTube channel the first time I heard this. But it's like, you know, you can buy a guitar for $200. You can buy a guitar for $2,000. Is the guitar that's $2,000 actually 10 times better than the guitar that's $200? Not necessarily. At a certain price point, you get to diminishing returns where you're paying more for luxuries and, you know, brand names. And it's this sort of the same idea with this. It's like, okay, yeah, like there's a lot of things I could do to really tweak this, but like, is it worth tweaking it that hard to get 0.1% difference? Or is it worth doing, you know, almost nothing to get a really big change? Like that's the kind of shit I like to fuck around with.
Yeah, exactly. You tried. Well, it's not much different than what I'm doing. It's finding that optimal experience with what you have available.
Exactly.
Right? Adjusting it to play it, because there's so many options that you can do already. It's just playing with it with what's available and what you can easily acquire to make those changes.
And it's like, I feel like a lot of people come from the attitude of like, well, I want to find the one way that I like it, and that's my favorite way, and that's the only way I do it. But like me, I'm kind of the opposite of that. It's like if I find one thing that works, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try something else and see if that works. Like let me see if I can use this thing for this thing and use that thing for this thing. You know, like I want to blend them all together.
Yeah, if I find my new favorite thing, I've just found my new favorite thing I'm trying to beat.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is.
It's a competition.
It's like, this is good, but I bet you there's something out there that can fucking hit it a little bit better.
I bet there's, you know, like 0.1 micron of a thing I could change. Yeah.
But that could be the thing that makes it, that opens up a whole new world of.
Exactly. Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, though, that when that's the options, there's endless possibilities that you can dive into with it, which is that in and of itself is fucking a game of what ifs.
Yeah. It definitely is. I mean, sometimes you know the answer pretty clearly, but it's just like, what if I do it this way?
Well, I think this is gonna happen, and then when it catches you off guard and it's something totally different, but exactly what you needed, you're like, what the or you just make that micro adjustment on the exact same thing that you've been doing, and all of a sudden you're like, Oh, so I didn't break it by doing this. It actually works.
Yeah. That's one
Oh,
of my favorite realizations. Wait, I did that and it didn't break. Fuck yeah.
or you realize not only did I not break it, but I realized how it's actually supposed to be used. Because I've done that a couple of times.
Right this time.
It's because you've done it because I've been nervous because I don't want to break this. I don't want to fuck this up. Then it's like,
yeah.
Oh shit. I now know why this is here and why it does this.
Yeah, exactly. I've had so many of those moments, and like, I guess that comes with being a sort of self-taught individual in most of my, like, at least in my hobbies. You know, like it's just kind of like just throw shit at the wall and see if it works. You know, that's how I learned music and recording and stuff. And it was just like I do the mastering for my band songs, and like I didn't realize for the first year that I was doing it wrong because I didn't know how to read this like specific decibel reading. And I was like, wait, oh, it's supposed to be minus 14 and not plus 14. Oh, that's why everything sounds like shit. And then it's just like, boom, light bulb. And I redid everything. But it's like, I don't know, sometimes it's like humbling, but it's like kind of the best way to learn something when you like realize that you've been fucking it up for that long, and then someone shows you how to do it right, and you're like, oh fuck.
Yep, exactly. You've been sitting there working on something, can't figure this out. So if you press this button combination, this pops up and you click this.
Like, fuck you, man.
20 some hours of my fucking life adjusting this shit.
Oh yeah. So many times.
Okay.
It's like, all right, noted. Gonna save that one.
Undo the last 20 hours worth of work. Click these 3 buttons and thank you.
Presto.
Launch. Oh. It's ooh. Yeah, this cart's gonna be done tonight. Girl Scout cookies, little full spectrum Girl Scout cookies.
Ooh, who's that from?
It's actually a gray market one I got sent from the Grass Chief. Matrix extract. It's
okay.
One of the best cartridges I've actually had in a long time. Like for that full spectrum flavor where it actually tastes like a really creamy Girl Scout cookies rendition.
Oh, nice.
It's
I haven't tasted a good Girl Scout cookies on the legal market yet. I've had like a few, because I was going for more cheaper ones. I can't find any craft brands with like a straight up Girl Scout cookies. Like it's always a cross, something else cookies, which sometimes are really good, but I don't know. The first time I had like straight up GSC was like so creamy, but like minty. It had such a specific flavor that I feel like I've come closer with gelato strains I've tried on the legal market to that taste than Girl Scout.
The best Girl Scout genetic that I've come across is Palmetto's Platinum Scout. Platinum cookies, not Platinum Scout. Platinum Scout's Joey Botanical. Platinum cookies from Palmetto. It's like $23 an eighth at the shop here.
Okay.
So really good price, but fresh buds. Like good buds, fresh buds.
Nice.
Yeah, like it's crazy. And you get not necessarily the minty Girl Scout cookies, but more the vanilla and that rich creamy. It just doesn't have that mint. You get a little bit more of that almost smoothed out platinum taste, which I don't mind because I'd rather have a platinum cookies than like a thin mint cookies where it's really focusing on that mint flavor.
Right.
Almost those two type of genetics for me, just because then more intense on those two notes because I really like those notes from that Girl Scout cookie genetic. I've got some actually. I've got some Glookies shred that
That's fun to say.
yeah, it's a 7 milled pre-ground that will, when this goes live, it'll be the Saturday before that garage sesh got uploaded. I'll be recording it 2 days after recording this with you. I'm looking forward to seeing how that is because we cracked it open. And here, actually, I'll just show it to you because I probably won't get a good viewing on the actual live stream, but it is like fresh. Like it's stuck together.
Oh shit, nice. It's a little
and it's not because the bags are squeezed together. Like you go in there and reach, it's because the buds are sticky.
Okay.
Nice. So
and that's like pre-ground too,
yeah, it's pre-ground. And it smells fresh on it.
Man, I don't know what's up with shred in Quebec. Like when they first launched, we had the Flower Power and the Narberry as well. Now they only have Tropic Thunder available for some reason. I'm not
in
sure
Quebec,
why.
really?
Yeah, it's super weird. Like every time I look, I don't know if it's just a stock thing, but it's been like at first I was like, oh, they're just out of stock, but it's been like 3-4 months. Every time I look, like the only shred is Tropic Thunder, which it was my favorite of the original 3, so I don't mind. But I want to try the newer ones you guys are getting. But yeah, I don't know. Looks like they're not coming to Quebec for some reason.
Well, so
maybe it's delayed. I don't know.
So like we've got a bunch of different companies that are doing it too. So like
like different.
So there's Shred that has it's Funk Master, it's Tropic Thunder, and the Flower Power. We can still get all 3 of those in the 7 grams milled, and I think we can. The Flower Power is the only one we can't get in pre-rolls.
Okay,
but we've got like the Weed Me Grind. This is a 14 gram.
Okay, so I thought you were still talking about different products from Shred, but yeah, okay. We have different different pre-ground strains as well from I think Color Cannabis has a few.
Color's got
different ones I've seen.
Pedro's and their Ghost Train.
Yeah, I think we have a CBD Mango Haze pre-milled from them as well here.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Legend is the Glookies. So they had a was it a super sour diesel? I want to say a super sour diesel and a Bubba Kush. I know I reviewed the Bubba Kush cartridge. And I'm pretty sure they had a super sour diesel 1 gram. And it was decent. Like the cartridge was decent. It definitely didn't taste like Bubba Kush. It had more of like a lemon driven flavor, but it was a good high that came off the cartridge. I'd give it credit there. It definitely had a decent high to follow.
I have a rad cartridge I was going to give to my mom for Christmas, but then we had a lockdown. So I'm waiting till I can go see her again. Don't watch this video, Mom. It's going to ruin your Christmas surprise.
See how deep she gets into it?
Yeah. I don't know. She probably wouldn't remember even if she did.
I got some of the, what is it? Is it the Crumble? Yeah, the hybrid Crumble from Rad. It's a Sour Apples. It's pretty good. I like that product.
Are they're actually strained now? Because the Crumble I got from Rad was just it was hybrid indica or sativa. It didn't have a strain on it at the time. I think I just got the indica one.
Yeah,
it was good. I found didn't have a lot of terps though in my batch, but
it was strong. All of the Rad products are strain specific. I was able to find the strain specific information on the Alberta Cannabis website. So I pulled it up and I was scrolling through and and then I was able to pull up the indica and the sativa genetics. I can't remember what they were, but I actually think I did it on that review. So I might be able to pull it up and tell you what strain that was that you had, at least if it was the same one that came to Alberta. because I knew
Yeah,
they
that
weren't
was
anything exciting. Like I looked at it and I'm like, I
well,
don't
it was
really
cheap.
need to try them. Yeah, I will give it
Yeah,
that. It's
that
like 35
that
bucks.
that was my main thing. I was just like, okay, $30 a gram, that's like pretty
Yeah.
much gray market price, like I'm down with that. But yeah, like it wasn't bad. I just remember the crumble was non-strain specific, like at least on the package it didn't say.
Yeah.
But then I noticed when I was doing my Christmas shopping for our dear old mother, I noticed that the cartridges have the strain names now. So it was like gelato, there was a strawberry, I want to say strawberry cough, and like I can't remember the hybrid one. A hybrid one was like 11 haze or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, okay, but okay, why are you putting the strain names on the cartridge but not on the fucking dabs yet? I don't get it. And they have shatter too, same thing. That was just, but maybe that's only for the medical market. They just have it more plain packaging. I don't know.
So we have the shatter in, and the shatter is so it's labeled as rad shatter, and then it
Mhm.
has the strain name beside it. So we've got the strawberry. I think it might be alien strawberry
Something
something,
like
and then
that.
a pink kush.
Okay.
So
Oh,
like
so
I
they
know we've
have.
got two options from them for that.
I saw on their Instagram they're supposed to have like some flower drops and some more like what they said premium concentrates. I don't know if that means just like sauce or if they're gonna have rosin or something like that. But they were
Mm-hmm.
teasing like a bunch of new shit for this year. So exciting to see how they develop. I did like the stuff I've tried from them. It wasn't like didn't blow me out of the water, but it was like good and like the price wasn't terrible. So I was like, okay, I can justify this. Like it wasn't my favorite stuff I've tried, but it was definitely good for the price.
Yeah, the price is good enough to definitely keep you interested. I'll agree to that.
As a little staple, just like
Yeah,
have a gram of this just because I know it's gonna be okay. It's gonna
yeah,
be decent at least.
it'll do the job for getting you baked. It may not be the most flavorful thing, but it'll give you that base for when you want to dive into a
Yeah,
little bit more of the tasty stuff, just as a dessert, right? You're using a little bit of the good
yeah,
stuff where the staple's a little bit more
exactly.
cost effective.
Exactly. And I don't feel so bad about taking a big dab.
Yeah. Well, it's a
Like,
good melting dab
$3.
too. Yeah. Yep. Right
Yeah.
now, like as big of our dab selection is, it's all the premium dabs. So I'm like, ugh. And I'm not a big fan
Yeah.
of shatter, right? Like I don't like
Same.
I
I don't like
like
the fact that it shatters. Like
well,
that's weird.
I don't like the high. Like in
No.
comparison, shatter is its own high, and I'm not a big fan of it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily the high. I always find that shatter is a little underwhelming for me. And I don't know if it's just because I don't maybe dab it hot enough. Like, I don't know. But it's like, unless you have like even like really good, like I've had some like, premium nug run,
Yeah.
like harvest shatter, and it was good, but then like you have the same strain in like regular ass live resin and it's 10 times better, or
Oh,
you have it in rosin and it's like a completely different experience altogether,
well,
like
even just sauce, just you don't need
yeah,
anything
jerk
fancy,
sauce.
just a straight up butter sauce or like just
I've been
something
really
that thick and
liking
creamy. I'm good with.
I've been really liking this crumble. This is some low price buds special. The contrast is all weird, but this is like, I think this is more what crumble's supposed to look like than what I
Yeah, that's
got from the
nice.
verse stuff. It looks like almost like Parmesan cheese.
Well, crumbles just got that consistency of almost the sauceless kind of
It's like
just
a
breakaway,
waxy.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I like that because, well, one, I find I like it because I don't like when I have sauce and stuff. I'm always a little more like picky about like, oh, I got to put it back in the fridge.
Mhm.
With stuff like this, or like like butter, or there's so many different names. People say sugar wax sometimes, like
Yeah.
that kind of stuff where it's more solid, so it's almost like a shatter, but it's just a different consistency of
Mhm.
shatter. And like I just find it's easier to work with. Like you don't have to cut it, you just kind of scoop it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you might get some terpene degradation if you leave it out overnight, but like it's not going to get all like runny and shitty to use.
And that's funny because I've had less issues with concentrates like that without the fridge than I've had with shatter. I've had shatter sugar on me more often than not than I've had any other concentrates go weird for me. So that's the biggest reason why I put all my concentrates in the fridge is because the shatter has sugared on me so often.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't think I've had that happen with shatter, but I don't buy shatter that often because like I think I remember the first time I tried concentrates, somebody gave me shatter, but like he put a dab on the end of his cigarette and made a bottle toke. So it was like I already had this kind of weird experience with it. I was like, well, I didn't really ask you to do a bottle toke. You offered me to try shatter. You didn't tell me this is how it was gonna go.
Yeah.
And then like when I got my own and started trying like little dab devices, then like I just found it was kind of annoying because if you keep it in the fridge, then yeah, sure, it's better. But then when you go to break it, like if it's that really hard shatter, it just fucking flies everywhere.
Yeah.
Like I probably like hit my cat in the eye with a little fucking shard of shatter when I had it. And like, I don't know. I just find being able to keep it sort of controlled more is more my jam. So that's why I
Yeah.
usually just go for sauce or crumble or something more along those lines. But then if you get that sort of pull and snap shatter, that stuff can be nice. Where
Yeah.
it melts a little bit to that like caramelly consistency that I enjoy. But then I always end up dabbing like way too fucking much at a time because I just love watching it stretch.
Yeah. You just stretch Armstrong, just stretch right out.
Okay. Whoop, 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 whoop. Just
there we go.
spin it all up. All right. Quarter gram dab. Let's go.
Diving in, get a CL Diablo. We're going for a heavy haul.
I met Space Jesus a few times going that route.
Yeah, there's been a couple of times where you take a dab and you're exhaling about 3/4 of the way out. You're like, fuck, that's more than I expected.
Yeah, dabs get me a lot. And it's weird. Sometimes I feel like the harshest dabs are the ones that don't give you enough. Like when you get that sort of wispy dab hit where it's like underheated and it's just like harsh terpenes just attacking you.
Oh, yeah, and
but then obviously the big ones fucking hurt. So yeah.
Well, but it's funny because I've been finding like lately, the last 3 or 4 days, I've been just hitting optimal temperature. Like I've dropped it outside of today. I fucked one up today and I forgot to upload it. I'll have to upload it after this. But
I feel like that.
I'm thinking I'm like I should almost go and get my tray. I think I might actually. But I've been just hitting that optimal temperature where I'm dropping these dabs and I'm like, holy shit, this is, and it's 3/4 of the way gone. And I'm like, wow, this like never happens. I very rarely get and hit optimal temperature. Yeah, I'm going to get my tray. I want to drop that or two. I'll still be able to hear you.
Right on. So I got this lava cake crumble. I was gonna get something else. Oh no, it's already here. Bobbing.
Yeah, this is.
Oh shit!
That's the dab selection I got.
Nice. You got a fucking taster bar there.
Yeah, there's a bunch that have like 1 or 2 dabs left. What I need to do is get my flower game up so that I can fucking press a bunch of rosin and have like a jam jar of rosin.
Nice.
So that I can just like, I want to take a dab, just pull that out and take a dab, right?
Yeah, that'd be sick. Or just press whatever, anything you feel like dabbing, just press it,
Well, exactly. I dropped some of that today. That's some blackberry diamonds. Oh. Much as I was bitching about shatter, I may just drop some shatter. Fuck it. Drop some shatter. Yeah, I still got one more big one left in there.
Oh, I need my Q-tips.
Yeah, I'll drop a little Fido pink Kush. Nothing too crazy. As I drop it on the table. Put that there. Of course, I have my torch up there. Grab that and okay. Let's go ahead and get my timer up here. Minute up, minute down, drop some pink Kush shadow.
Might as well drop a second with you. Didn't quite realize I was jabbing solo on the first one there.
It's like
got
me.
ahead of myself.
I think every other sesh I just hammered a bowl back and it's like, oh shit, you're still getting ready. I guess I'll get another one ready.
Yeah.
It's like every single garage sesh count is just waiting there patiently. Can I smoke?
May I?
Please, sir, can I have some more?
Oliver Twist of cannabis.
Yeah.
Please, sir, just one more bowl.
Yeah, until he gets about 2 bowls in and he's like, no more.
No more.
Oh. Okay. There we go. I got another 40 seconds.
Shit.
There we go. I'm just waiting for the cool down for mine. So got another 30 seconds and mine's good.
30 seconds are gonna be done this dab.
Are you just hitting your terp torch or your automated dabber? Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, I got a little more process. I got 10 seconds.
Ooh, I should mute myself for this.
Probably shouldn't touch the hot banger. Let's throw that on there. Cheers, folks.
Oh shit, was I just unmuted for that last coughing fit? My bad.
That was a short one.
Yeah, the thing about this thing is like you just drop it in, and the way I have it set, it's pretty much ready to dab after 20 seconds, but like I can't really dab the whole dab at once. Like I have to take like 3 hits, 3 or 4 hits to really clear it. So like you look and be like, those are kind of big hits, but that doesn't look like a dab. And it's like, well, it's a dab split into sections.
It's a Dynavap dab.
Oh,
come on,
reconnect. There
we go.
Listen to you.
Yeah, but of course, reconnects. Yeah, reconnects and it's zoomed out. No, there we go. It's set back up. That's one thing
It wasn't
with
too bad.
shatter. I always end up finding that I get like a residue on my front teeth when I smoke a big shatter dab.
Like a sticky, almost like a reclaim. Yeah,
Yeah.
I get that too. Sometimes from like certain, well, any BHO like extract kind of concentrates. Like if it's really cheap stuff, I find I get that more. But definitely more from shatter in general. I don't know if it's just because of the consistency, the melts, the way it melts or something.
Yeah. Like live resin and rosins, don't find that experience. I do still get a coat, but it's a different, it's almost more, it's less like this almost feels like silicone plastic kind of like that almost like where
that live resin taste where you get it just a bit too hot, like and it's almost like I find it's almost like having like a cotton ball in your mouth or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Kind of like a spicy tickle.
Yeah, it's got more of that fibrous feel.
Yeah,
like this feels rubber, like synthesized, and the live resin and the live rosin feel more fibrous. Yeah, that's really the best way to describe it.
Yeah, I find with like the best rosin I've had, that wasn't even, I didn't even notice it. It was just like my tongue was just coated with terps, but
I can't fucking find it. I can't make
with some resin, it's more intense. What's going on?
Mrs. just needs help finding something downstairs, so I'll be back in a second.
Right on. I'll keep everyone entertained, I suppose, while Trevor's gone. But yeah, different tastes from different concentrates, man. Aftertastes, foretastes, during tastes, they happen. They happen. I think fibrous is the best way I've thought of. Well, Trevor thought of to describe that sort of aftertaste from a slightly too hot live resin dab. Kind of interesting. Well, I got this shit all set up here, so might as well drop another dab. If anybody's curious about my setup, this is a, let me focus it. This is, the bottom part is just an e-cig mod. It's an iStick Pico 21700 battery. This is a DTV4 from Divine Tribe, fully assembled. I have that 14 millimeter or 18 millimeter cap rather. So I just take my bubbler, stack it on top. The bowl or the banger basically in there is silicone carbide, which is polished. So it heats up pretty quick and it's like really smooth. So it's really easy to clean out with a Q-tip. Makes it basically just like having a quartz banger, but it's controlled by this e-cig. So I can dial in the heat and everything. I just use it in wattage mode, but I have it so it heats up for like 45 seconds at a time. And I just dab my whole dab like that in a few different little halls. Technically a portable unit, but I only really use it at home. But yeah, that's how I usually dab. Thought people might be confused seeing me just, you know, puffing on this weird little glass penis down here. So figured I should explain that a little. And now Trevor's back. Almost back. He's getting there. He's back.
Forget that I muted.
Find it.
If I would go and buy fucking an ounce of this Tom Ford Pink Kush from Nathan Grand, dude, I think you would be all over it too.
Oh yeah,
it's got
rosin or resin? What?
Live resin diamond sauce.
Oh,
it's easy to pull the bag out. Yes. 78.4. It came in at 3.47% terps with a ferritinine, carefulline, and limonene being the top 3. And it's a pink grapefruit and vanilla flavor that I get on it. Like a pink grapefruit and vanilla flavor.
That sounds really fucking good.
And it is so smooth. Like,
what was the brand again?
It's Nith and Grand.
Nith and Grand. Okay. I know
Yeah,
that
they
name, but I don't think
they have a sour kush that they're growing, and they fall under the Emblem Cannabis Core. They fall under. They've also got a lemon baked live resin diamond sauce that I would be really, really interested in trying. It sounds, oh fuck, dude, it is so good.
I feel like diamond sauce is that kind of sweet spot because sometimes I've had sauce where it's like almost too terpy, you know, it's like violently terpy.
I would think I would like that for certain genetics, like an ice cream cake or something super rich, hearty like that. I'll be all over terp sauce like that. I agree. But something
it depends on the genetics.
Pineapple Express, no, thank you.
Even something like an ultra sour like that for in a concentrate, it's a little too much for me personally. It's like a nice flavor, but it's like, too much of a good thing.
What's funny is I agree with you on the ultra sour, but I've had a Citrique honeycomb. Oh, that is so fucking good. That was one of my favorite honeycomb flavors that I've had. It's a Citrique. It was almost so sweet that you got like a honeydew melon flavor off of it.
Oh shit.
Like it was weird how it ended up vaping off, and it was such a good flavor. Make sure this is nice and clean. And then in a couple of minutes, I'll heat you up on time and drop one of those top 4 pink Kush Daz, because why not? It's delicious enough. What we need is just a sponsor to come and hook up these sessions. Here's a grab of all the new concentrations. Let's just go through it. Here's 3.5 of the new flower. Though that would be the setup. I don't think we're too far from it. Like, I honestly think we're probably within 18 months of that becoming a legitimate possibility within the industry, but I'm curious to see what sort of restrictions and limitations would have to be put onto it, because there's going to be some.
That's still I know it's like even just marketing is like slightly more restricted in Quebec than the other provinces too. Like, so I feel like for here it might be even longer than that, but yeah, I was starting to see more of shit. I mean, like T-God Highly Dutch sending everyone out those Rotterdam ounces. Like, I know you got one. I think there was 5 or 10 other creators I saw on Instagram who got one as well. So it's like they're trying to start the connection, they're trying to like build that bridge early. So that kind of gives me hope. But then it's like I haven't heard anything from any other LPs. I know a lot of the gray market sites seem to be a little more supportive, but then it's a little risky.
yeah there's a little give and take to it, and like I've gotten lucky and had a couple, like I've gotten quite a bit of product to try, and it's a lot more because like reps are interested to hear what my opinion are, so they've helped hook me up or sent me something, and that I've been really lucky that way in being able to get my hands on some of the stuff that maybe doesn't come into the shop or is out of province for Alberta, and they've been able to get one sent from somebody that lives in another province, which is awesome, because sometimes I don't have friends that live elsewhere, and I get to try and get kind of an idea of what that company has to offer that I don't get to see or get customer feedback, because like there's, I would say probably a third of the product, the opinion I built have been 6 or 7 of the customers that I reliably use as a resource. because they come in and they if I ask them something, they know what I'm asking, and they answer that question very like the way that they want to explain it, but they know what I'm asking. Like, well,
Right.
what type of effect were you getting, this or this? They know why I'm asking. They know the curiosity's there because I care about the plant. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to help other people. So they'll genuinely answer it. They won't try and exaggerate it, or it's if they go, well, it was all right. This point was stronger than this. I know they're not trying to sell me something. It's just, yeah, this is what I'm feeling. Because there's some
It's
people
like,
where it's
oh,
like,
it's the best, you know, like as opposed to someone like that who's just like, oh, you're never gonna smoke better weed than this, man. Like just full
yeah,
used car salesman approach, you know.
yeah, exactly. They're not afraid to rip in when it needs a little bit, but they'll always play the devil's advocate on it at the same time. They'll go, well, there's this, but this. And people who have that but this mentality when they're talking about the weed, even when it's the best strain they've had, there's always a but this experience.
It's still not
if
good
I
enough for them, then I know that it's gonna be good, you know. Like,
yeah, if I hear that experience, it's like, okay, I know that you're gonna be honest and you're actually taking the time to appreciate the effects that's coming off of this. And no, there's no reason for everyone to be like that. It's like everyone's got, it's just like you have the wine people who go and do the exact same thing that we do, but with wine and whiskey and gin and every other different batch of booze there is.
I've been seeing literal there's e-cigarette reviews, which is like a whole thing, but actual cigarette reviews, like Marlboro Red reviews, Export A Blue reviews, you know, that's a whole niche.
Yeah, well, there's the cigar reviews too, right? Like, it's they're all something to provide for kind of a hobby that's, and the people that surround that hobby or that
lifestyle, however you want to call it.
Exactly. Career potentially, because every hobby has a potential career to be made out of it. It's just whether you're creative enough to connect what you're doing to that industry and create a way of making money with it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think that's like the ultimate goal for everyone to a certain degree. Like, it shouldn't be your only goal, or else you're gonna drive yourself crazy. But like, I don't know, like I'm pretty like open about that too. I was like I would love to make money doing this, and I will take steps to get that to happen. But I know that it's not gonna be a thing where I flip a switch and all of a sudden I'm, you know, making 10K a week. It's like, you know, it's something that takes time and you have to actually love doing it. And thankfully I do. So it's like, I don't even really concern myself with it that much, but it's like, you always kind of think about little ways to move it forward. But then it's also like, well, I also don't want to make it seem like that's the only reason I'm here. Cause like, I wouldn't have started if I, you know, if I was only concerned about that. But then it's like, you think about it and you're like, well, I know there's a potential. It's just how long until everything falls into place, or until I'm confident enough in my, you know, reach and my like platform to reach out to people for things like that, which I've done to mixed results. But, you know, like it's still like I look at my stuff and then I look at like your stuff, you know, and it's like we're like a year apart, and I can still already see I think around this time last year you were getting close to 500, something like that. So it's like we're like almost the same, even though I haven't put in the like daily videos that you have. But then I'm like, oh well, obviously you putting in this much daily content is a huge factor of why you're growing faster. Like, it just the numbers make sense. So it's like, if I, you know, anyway, don't want to get too deep into this and get all weird, but I'm not trying to like compare us to each other or anything like that, but it's just a convenient comparison. But it's like, you know, it's like you always have to think of like, at the end of the day, it's like the same thing can apply across multiple, you know, different avenues. So like for a salesman or a rep of a company, cannabis company or any company, you know, there's a way to sell a product that at least feels genuine to where I'm interested or you're interested, or there's a way to just, you know, read a script and
Oh,
just kind of
exactly.
lay you. Oh yes, one cannabinoid is available at 10%. You're like,
Yeah.
what? You know, like, and you see both sides of it depending on the company. But I don't know. I haven't reached out really to any LPs for that because I wasn't even sure if it was currently legal. I think it's legal for them to just send stuff for free as a sample, but I don't know if them paying influencers. There's like weird cannabis and anything, you know, vices like alcohol, tobacco, all have very strange advertising laws in different provinces and different countries too. Kind of, yeah, there's a lot. And so like I think I saw your post the other day of Instagram just like flagging your post from
Yep.
like 2 years ago.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
I
I
posted
think-
it. It was within 14 minutes, and they tagged it.
Okay.
It was a brand new post.
That was a brand new one. Okay, yeah, because I've had some where they'd like they flag like I just logged in, like I just turned on the app and there was a flag from like something I posted last year or you know super old, but it wasn't even my post that was flagged. It was me commenting like on the video to put hashtags that was flagged. So I was like, what hashtag are they flagging here? Because I was like reading the community guidelines and it's just like, well, alcohol, tobacco, firearms, blah, blah, blah. Like there's like strict, you can't promote the use of this. And I was like, well, I'm not promoting other people to do this. I'm just being like, hey, look at me.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so what?
Exactly.
Like what's the problem? And also then why are you flagging just hashtags that like thousands of other people are posting instead of flagging my actual post if you have a problem with, you know, like it's just like the Wild West. Like they just are like, something weed, vape, something, okay, flag. Like the algorithm just kind of does its own thing sometimes, it seems. I had one too, it was like 2 seconds after I posted my hashtag comment, it goes, whoa, flag. And then 5 minutes later, I posted the same comment again, no flag. So it's just like, what's going on, guys?
Well, I posted that. And then it was like 22 minutes later, I get the notification it's gone. And it's like, I can't appeal it at all.
Oh, they didn't even give you an appeal?
No, it says
That's
automatic on the, and I was like, what the fuck? And I'm looking at it, it says promotion of sales. I'm like, okay. And I go and I'm like, you know what? Fuck you guys. I posted right on my story.
Same thing again.
So nothing.
No problem.
Don't get tagged. No problems. It gets shared. And then that post that I put on there is one of the most interactive posts in the fucking last 3 months on my Instagram. Because everybody pipes up and says something. It's like, holy fuck, okay. And that was a post that drove me to break 3K on fucking Instagram. It's like, okay, I guess this is what's happened. I've been sitting at 2,900 for like fucking 5 months, 4 months, almost 5 months. And I post with 0 hashtags. I just at Instagram and it just blows up. I'm like, okay, this is how I'm playing this game. This is how I'm playing this game.
That's amazing.
I'm talking less, I'm dabbing more, and it's fucking working. So that's what's gonna happen. Like, I don't know what the fuck else to do. I want to get a jam jar so I can just shut the fuck up and stop dropping some big slabby dabs.
On your Instagram, are you still on like your Brad the Leaf account is a personal account or it's a business account?
I set it up as a business account.
So I recently switched mine to business and I've noticed I've been getting way more of these random flags since I did that. And I don't know if it's worth going back to just having it as a personal account because like a lot of the tools they say I can use just don't work on my computer or my phone. So I'm like,
Do you have your page set to 18 plus for access? Because if you don't, that like as a business page, I know I can do that. I don't know if I don't think as a personal page you can lock it to 18 plus.
Where would that be?
It'd be in your, I'm not 100% sure where it would be in your settings.
Change password, app websites, personal locations, privacy and security, maybe?
Yeah. It'd be likely in privacy and security, because if you set that up, it'll keep you from being tagged by the under 18, because it'll slow your growth, but it'll also keep you from getting flagged.
That would be nice. I mean, I know the first few times I got flagged, it's because I was using copyrighted music, and I was just like, well, I'm not sure if this artist will care, or whoever owns the publishing will care.
Well, but, is if the music is available on a public platform, it shouldn't be an issue. Because if it's available on a public platform and you're creating content over top of it, it's not that music creator's content then.
Yeah, well, I think it's because the issue was I wasn't using it like it wasn't like a reel where you can add the song from Spotify. It was like I was just playing it off Spotify in the background, like on the video audio. So they like when on the video it shows original audio, but it's playing a copyrighted song, you know.
Well, that's what all of my music is just Spotify in the background.
Yeah.
So like, and that's the thing, is because it's publicly available on Spotify for free. It's publicly available on YouTube for free. You're not trying to make money off of it. You're not trying to utilize it to increase your form. It's just background noise.
Yeah, I don't know. They were pretty like, they didn't like, I'd appealed those and they didn't get reinstated. But then I would just post the same video as a reel and add the song again, and then it was fine. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I can't find this 18 plus thing, but I'll look for it later because we're wasting video time here.
I wonder if that would be a Quebec based like provincial law that is enforced via Instagram for copyrights.
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. Quebec has all kinds of weird, sneaky
where like you have to recognize the music that is being utilized in your, like, I could see something like that being.
Well, see, the thing is, it wouldn't happen all the time. It would happen for specific artists. So like if I would share a song from like a local band that I know who's not signed to a major label, you know, who's just independent artist, or if I share like one of Kelton's songs, for example, that would be fine because it's just DistroKid. DistroKid doesn't go out, or whatever, you know, service that puts your music on Amazon or on Spotify and everything. Like they don't take royalties. They don't make money off that. They make money off subscription fees from the artists that are using them. So like they don't care if people are using the songs on another platform. Whereas like if I use something from like an artist like Prince or, you know, like Madonna, like some super famous major label artist, that will immediately get a copyright flag and like be taken down, unless I do it through Reels or in the story where you can add the song after you have the video. So yeah, it was something I discovered just through doing my dumb music sesh videos, that like I was like, okay, there's like a weird loophole here, because either some labels just don't care or don't have the money to have people checking that shit, and then some labels clearly pay entire departments to just do that, just troll YouTube and Instagram for mentions of, you know, whatever artist they own. Or like sometimes it's not even labels anymore. Like you hear in the news, like a bunch of artists like Bruce Springsteen, Bob Dylan, all these like older artists are like selling their catalogs for like a, you know, $250 million, something like that. And they always are sold to like these weird like accounting firms, like these like offshore, like, you know, Swedish accounting or publishing firms or whatever. And it's like these ad agencies basically they're just like, okay, we want to buy David Bowie's catalog, we want to buy Bob Dylan's catalog so we can use all his songs in our whatever commercial or whatever product we want or that we own. And sometimes it's like this weird little shell corporation, but they happen to own, you know, controlling interest of NBC or, you know, something like that. So now you're going to hear all these songs in these shows now. So it's like, I don't know how we got to this part of the conversation. I lost my train of thought a little bit.
Yeah, you've been.
But that,
There's been 2 or 3 times today where I've just been like, "Holy shit, he's taking this and fucking running with it."
oh, sorry, man.
Oh, weed's
I do
hitting
that
good.
sometimes.
Oh.
He was like talking about something. Yeah, so this thing about weed, and I'm like, oh man, that reminds me of something completely different. Let's talk about it for 20 minutes.
Oh. Okay. Well, I might as well finish it off with some blackberry diamonds. Call her the last dab and wrap this sesh up for this time around, because fuck, I think we've been going for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, I just looked at the time. Holy shit. My fault probably.
Yeah, there we go. Got the timer on. Yeah, drop a big dab of some blackberry diamonds with you guys.
All right, I'll take a final dab as well. You tell me when you got 40 seconds left.
For sure.
I'll start mine up.
Oh, you got a minute until we get to
Okay,
that point.
okay.
So
I'll get her loaded.
yeah, this will be good. I'm hoping that we can keep a third chair filled up on our garage sessions, and I'm gonna start pre-recording them now, so we could maybe have it, if we could sort out a time, have it that you hop on to like a Zoom call, and then we could pre-record it with me and Kelton, and we could do one like that.
Oh, that'd be a good time. And yeah, I was thinking we could figure out, I was either thinking like we could figure out how to get you guys live, like have us all live, but that sounds like it would be easier.
Yeah, like we could do that, or well, the nice thing is 40 seconds starts in 5. 40 seconds now. Like we could always like do the garage session. Kelton could hop on live on Instagram. I could hop on live on Instagram. And then like we could have it set up like that, and then there'd be 3 cameras rolling.
Okay. Oh fuck, I forgot to start it.
So, and I think since I'm gonna be pre-recording it, if Kelton wants to fucking throw live up on his phone as well, then we could do kind of a collaborative stream and pre-record that garage session. I think that's gonna change up the content a little bit, still keep it fresh. Okay, there we go. Cheers.
Yum.
Those premium 5 diamonds are a smooth smoke. They have a good high to go with them, but they just do not taste as much as like as good as I would wish they could.
That's been unfortunately my general experience with Premium 5. Aside from their rosin, but it's just so expensive.
Well, I think we've got one of their rosins. It's a half gram for like $22. Actually, you know what? I got the fucking printed off menu of the shop right now. I should go and check.
Yeah, I've been seeing half grams for like 35 on Shelter Market, and I'm still just like for half though. But yeah, I know rosin's generally, you know, lower yield, more expensive, but it's just rough. But I found actually, I don't know if you have these guys. I'm pretty sure they're from out west. Let me focus it for you one sec.
I don't recognize that.
Earthwolf Farms.
Yeah, I don't recognize those guys at all.
Yeah, I think they're a subsidiary of, what does it say here? Apothecary Botanicals is their like parent company. This is Bubble Hash, so I'm not gonna dab that. But I'd had some of their live rosin that was like, it was pretty decent, really smooth, but just not a lot. It said like 8% terps on the bag, but it was very like not a lot of flavor. But it was really, but it was like $40 for a gram. So that was like, okay, for live rosin, I gotta try it.
Yeah,
I
so
think
for
sometimes
like,
they mislabel the type of concentrate though.
yeah, so for like concentrates, I can't show the price, but like right now, that's what we've got in. It's backwards, but that's the list. And what's highlighted is what I've hit, I've tried. But we got the black cherry punch hash rosin from Premium 5, and it's 25 for the half gram.
Yeah, I believe that's the one I tried, and that one was, pretty damn good for more expensive than that I paid. But yeah, 25 for a half gram is not so bad. That's like 50 a gram. So
yeah, and I would get
pricey, but not the worst.
No, like, and I'm sitting down and I'm like, oh, I just spent, it was, what was it, 38 for a 3.5, and my half of that 7 grams milled with my discount at the shop. So that's the garlic jelly from Weed Me and half of my cost for the Glookies, 7 gram. And then my buddy at the shop, he's gonna pick up the banana OG, and he paid for the other half of that. And we're gonna bust up that Glookies and try it in the bong, all 3 of us, and then I'll probably roll up 3 big stogies. And we can smoke those, paper and a half. Fucking nice. I've been talking about rolling stogies, so I'm gonna do that. Sit there, we can fucking do that, smoke those, bullshit. It'll be a good time.
Oh yeah.
Get Kelton just fucking bite.
You're like, who's having a baby?
Oh, that every time, man. Every fucking time we just send him over the moon. So, but we won't be live on YouTube. So we'll be live on Instagram. And it'll be later Wednesday night if you wanted to even hop on then and bullshit for a little bit, take a hoot or two.
Yeah, this Wednesday coming. Yeah, should be able to do that. Let me know a little bit before there, but
I can. Well, I can always just send you the live stream too.
Yeah, word. Okay, so I can just hop on like through Instagram, right? Yeah. I haven't done a live on Instagram with other people yet, so I don't know how that works. But I guess.
Well, I can. Link, right? Well, if you just hop on the live stream, you can either send the invite, or even if you just like when you go in the comments, you just go ready to go. We can just go and hit it and have you hop on the live, and then I can actually download that video and upload it to the YouTube video, so we could always have it interacting there too. So then we could have it involved a little bit more in the garage sessions and shit.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I'm definitely up for that.
Yeah, even if it's just a bowl or two, it'd be a blast.
Yeah, for sure. I think Wednesday is actually a good night because normally it would be not a good night because I'd have band practice, but our jam space is closed because of Corona restrictions again. So I'm gonna be here by myself, I think, on Wednesday.
That's what come and bullshit and visit on the Sesh for a bit.
Sounds good.
Okay, but I think we should wrap her up. It smells like dinner's getting close to be ready. So
yeah, we're on a solid 2 hours here, so I think we're plenty of content.
It's not too often that we can say plenty of dabs have been dropped on these sessions.
I did 4 in like the past 20 minutes or something, so or half hour. So yeah,
I dropped 4 too. So that's a good little live stream.
Right on. Well, I'll see you Wednesday then.
Yeah, for sure. Hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you in the next one. If nothing else gets planned between now and the next harvest, it'll be closer to around March, end of March for when those crops are done and when I can send them off. But we may end up getting some other goodies exchanged or some other content recorded for you guys in between now and then. But with that being said, it was a blast, buddy, and I'm definitely gonna look forward to when I can get that crop sent out to you, because this one is gonna be like that Bubba Kush and better, I think.
Fuck yeah! Oh, it was gone too fast. I've almost forgotten it, but I still remember how good it was.
Well, I'll send you pictures of the Bubba Kush that I have right now, that 2.5, because I got another plant of that one, and this one's better condition than that one was. I've got the Bubba Kush 98 crossed, the pre 98 Bubba Kush crossed with the garlic butter, which is so purple. The ice cream cake, which is fat, like it's starting to get a really nice cone shaped bud to it. And then the triple X that is just absolutely consuming half the tent size. And it is crystal coated.
Oh man, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do some reviews of these ones this time. I've been slacking the last few harvests.
Well, with the amount I'm getting, it'll be closer to like 7 with some of these plants I'll be able to send out.
Sick.
Like that Bubba Kush is looking like that. The triple X. Well, the triple X, I've got 5 plants.
Shit.
Okay. One auto and 5. Yeah, 1 auto and 4 that are Remo nutrients. And the Remos are looking real good.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited to try that too, because everything up until now has been organic, living soil.
Organic, right? Yeah.
Right.
So I'm interested to see that. And I'm gonna end up doing a full Remo grow in with clones of the pre-98 Bubba Kush, the ice cream cake, and the crow.
The crow?
The crow. I have no fucking idea what the genetics are on it. I got seeds sent to me for free. And that is the best left hook out there for throwing things out. Because like pre-98 Bubba Kush garlic butter, that's a weird cross. The ice cream cake pulls you back in. Let's just give you a little the crow.
The crow.
But it is the best. The best growing plant I have.
Crow. Play the movie The Crow on loop in the tent for the whole time.
Oh, yeah. It's like it is the best growing plant out of the 3, though. It's trained the best. It looks the best. Like I am absolutely loving the look of it. It may be one that I end up wanting to like cross back into itself and create feminized seeds of, just to make sure I keep a little bit of a bank of seeds of it.
Nice. That's
because
crazy.
the one nice thing about doing that is I can get a hormone that actually has a fem plant produce male pollen on one of the buds, and then I can use that to just essentially pollinate that same exact plant, and that creates feminized seeds.
Oh shit! Okay, I always wondered about that, because you see the ads for like feminized, non-feminized.
Yeah, feminized seeds are a mum with a bud that has male plants on it, male not plants but male bud pollen transfer back on it. I'm sure there's much more to the process, especially to stabilize the seeds, but I would rather have but I still think that doing that is a lot easier, and I think you're a lot closer to a stable-ish seed. Like I would rather have to drop 4 seeds and do a little bit of a seed hunt and have 40 of them in my stock, because I know the genetic is good and the fucking strain is, especially if I'm not crossing 2 different plants but the same plant into itself. I think that'd be the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Sounds like work, and I think that's going to be the summer's plan, because I may end up Like if I could take some clones, I'm curious to see how it's going to grow outdoors. Like we may experiment
Oh,
with
yeah.
it.